Alright, welcome to Ditto version 2 overview. I'm going to show you how to get started and basically how to quickly get set up. So first you want to do is click this add layer, and this gets all your layers set up. So once you select Ditto Blend, it will show the layers here, and go ahead and just click the first one that resets it. And this can go to the top, go to the bottom. This navigates via single. Just scroll up, click the one you want. We're going to click one. This adds mirror modifier like right here if you need it for like an object. This shows and hide like these settings up to like the last three. And over here is wireframe, texture, link object to collection, convert object to mesh, and convert object to mesh, but it keeps the object that has that selected. And of course you can change it when you click it, but that's what it's for, converting to mesh. Now quick objects, this is Ditto tools. These are like tools set up to work with these type of geometries. So we got the plane, we got the, let me go ahead and show you. So if I add a plane and I click it, it has mirror modifier, solidify, and then a custom extrude modifier. So it uses planes, and it's automatically set up with the wireframe, so you don't have to adjust this. So if you go to Ditto, and you go to, this is Ditto version 1, based on your resolution, like that's a pretty good one to start off with. You don't want it too high. Now you just go in here, press Shift D, and you got yourself like modeling a plane, and it's only plane, so you can just model it however you want, and quickly you can get like some bat wings and stuff, and it literally costs you like nothing. So you can do stuff like that with Ditto plane, and it keeps it into like a certain size, but you can adjust that with solidify modifier, the thickness. So based on the thickness will be how thick it becomes, and that's the Ditto plane. And of course the extrude, let me go ahead and show you extrude. Dual mesh like swaps all the vertices and stuff and completely changes it. You can use keep boundaries, but this doesn't really do much. So extrude, as you can see, will extrude based on the geometry. And if you unclick individual faces, it will extrude based on like the polygons. And if the faces are off, you can just click flip faces on. So like if you extrude an individual, this is like for making spikes. You just want to turn this on, and that makes the spikes. So you got the spikes set up. Yeah, it's just something to make spikes for like particular objects. And this is for scaling the sides if you want to use the sides instead. And you can move that back into space to, well, you can always increase geometry later. So whatever shape you want to get, just adjust it, adjust the thickness to it. Probably don't want to push it back too much. But the geometry stays really nice until you like rotate it. So when you rotate it, that's when you start getting usually some problems, but I got a way to fix that. First of all, you use high res, which you can fix it with high res, but next you want to like use smoothing, and let me show you. Smooth, high res, smooth, that's where you get the really nice look, but it's going to get slower and slower based on your computer, but luckily with like this simple setup it's not going to be a problem. It's only when it's a lot. So let me go ahead. You can reduce it for like very smooth looks, but also you can just reduce this to like get back a simple shape, and you can edit really fast with simple shapes. These Ditto tools are basic setups. So this is the cube, this is the curve. Curve has a lot of options, but most of the options, like let me show you. Most of the options are here. And I'll go over how this works. In version 3 it will appear in here. Right now it doesn't appear in there. Right now it's only set up for the Ditto layers. But in version 3 all of this is going to appear in like the better preview system. Basically this is curve profile and instancing. So instancing basically does the shape. So I have it ordered right here. This is all the curve profile menu 0 through 7. This is instancing menu 0 through 6, which is for like cones and cube. Whatever you select here is what it's going to turn to. Whatever you change here is what it's going to turn to. So we did 3. We go to 3 icosphere. Here we can adjust the radius, subdivisions. So might only want to do this like one time. Probably don't even need it. But basically with the curve, you can do Alt S to scale this up and then scale this down. Unless it's 0, then if it's 0, you need to come up here and just click on it once, and then you can scale it up and down. That's the one problem with like scaling, but this is basically using curves. These are basically primitive setups. So you got your sphere, your icosphere, or that's a UV sphere, and you got cylinder, you got the cone, torus, edge. Edge is where it uses like skin modifier. So if you wanted to use like edges, press E to extrude. For this one, you gotta do, let's see, I think Control A, yeah, Control A instead of Alt S, since it's skin modifier. Control A. So you can get really nice stuff with this, and the best thing with this is you can extrude and it will connect. So Control A, get that down. And you can make some really nice shapes with this. I have it all set up to where it's going to create 3D forms. And it blends together. So this whole setup works for everything except metaballs because it's using the mirror. Metaballs, there's a way to get around it, but I'm going to have a pre-mirror setup for metaballs in version 3. So this is what you want to use to get your system started. So like in a layer, if you want a whole setup that's ready to go, that's where you use the Ditto tools. You can't add another tool to the same one, but you can add custom objects to it. Probably better just use edges here. But this is your basic primitive setup. This is your basic curve setups for using curve. And metaballs, this is your basic metaball setup. Let's say you chose the cube one. When you enter into edit mode, you can just duplicate this and it will start like creating the cube, and you can just move a point and you can get like nice shapes by just doing that too. Just play around until you get like shapes you like, and this is all based on like your style you have selected. So let me go here and show you. Go back into object mode. So the style here is the point, so it's based on like the vertices. Click here, it's going to be based on the edge. So you have more of an edge point, so it's looking at the edge of all the geometry and like conforming to it. And then this is the face, so it's looking at all the faces and it's conforming to the faces. and you can just rotate through them right here. You can get some really nice looks. So, and you got your colors. So if you just go into here, it's a version 1, so don't expect too much from it. Style swap, value, where you can just increase it. You got the blur where it's fading in for that one. This second blur actually blurs it a lot more across it. And this adjusts the style for how it's gonna look. So you can increase it, play around with the colors. I got a better one coming in version 3. You're gonna love it. And this is basically 2 colors is 0. Color 1 is this button. Color 2 is this button. Color 1, color 2. Invert only works for the dual colors, so I'll have it working for everything in the next version. And this works mainly with, if you turn this on in Ditto Layer 2, whatever you have in the first one, that's what it will be referring to when you clicked it. So in case you don't know what's going on here, this is basically a union between that layer and the previous layer. And then this one is like a kind of a chamfer going in between the intersections of these objects, but it has to be in a later layer. So 2 affects 1, 3 affects 2, and that's how this Boolean system works. I'm going to improve it to where you don't even need all that, but that's how it works if you want to use it. So Ditto version 1 uses the mesh system. Let me go ahead change this up, and the colors are going to be way better than this. So if you want to smooth it, click this button. This is the smooth, this is realize, this is separate, reset. I'm going to get rid of all these buttons because you don't really need them. I'm going to just set them up to where they're good to go. I'll keep the smooth one. This is for hiding. So if you open this up, when you click this, you can see where it's going to affect it. So this is hide all previous layers. This one's hard blend. So this is the cheap way to getting your nice edges back. So let's say you wanted your perfect geometry back, but you don't want it to be super slow when you're working on it. This is the way, hard blending. This is the way I came up with to get it back while having your blending. So you can still blend in between objects, but keep all your hard edges, if that's how you designed it. So it's a great way to have both at a cheaper cost, just in case if you get stuff like this. And it's a great way to work on stuff without increasing res, because you can increase res later, like this, and just smooth it. You have very nice blended edges, and we're gonna have booleans in version 3. So let me go over this real quick. We got EX blend. This is extra blend. Extra blend sliders over here. It's gonna blend in between everything. Let me lower the res a bit so it's faster. This is infinite blend. So infinite blend, let me show you what it does. Take this, it's going to blend no matter how far the distance is. So even if I went out this far, it works better on version 2 than it does on here. But infinite blend, you got infinite amount of blend despite the distance. And this is EX plus infinite blend. So now you got the infinite blend plus the EX slider, so you can choose the type of blending you want, soft or hard. And to turn it off, you just turn this to 0. This is slider for it. Or you just click the button again. And this is blending is 2 different styles of blending. And you probably won't notice much of a difference, but this is soft, this is constant or hard, demesh is what you can use to like change the geometry, so you may notice it getting smoother because it's changing the position. So a really nice way to like kind of fix a problem. And these are all the volume settings, so you can just pull these out. This is density. You can control the density of the object. This is size, which is for custom. When you click here, that's custom. This is the volume on button. This is interior, so we'll control the interior. This is threshold. Some of these you probably don't need to mess with. And this is adaptivity, which you also don't need to mess with unless you're like smoothing onto an object. This is basically union. This gets rid of all inner geometry, so this is great for using, but if you use this on a layer, it's not going to really blend anything. It's designed to be on the next layer under it, and then it combines it together. So that's union. Ditto version 2. This one has a lot of blending. This uses a cage. So you got infinite, which would be the same infinite, but it's actually better. See, way less lag. It's way better. And it's ridiculous how much you get for how cheap of a cost. So this is really good for blending. You got the points, edges, like you can look at which styles it does, points, edges, face, and you got your smoothing amount right here. Here's more blending options. So you can go between these and it's just different styles. You may get different results for style, and you can adjust the strength and the value depending on which one will. There we go. It starts to change it depending on what you have selected. Mostly you want to keep one of these all the way and then only adjust one depending on what you want, and that's what happens when you double click that. Shows the cage. So smooth is how you retain the shape. I'll have better smoothing in version 3 to where it retains like more of the original shape. And you can adjust this, and yeah, this is like super blending. You can reduce res here or increase it. Okay, this is res on all, so this pretty much makes it to where resolution affects X, Y, and Z. So if you had this off, you can adjust Z separately, and sometimes you can get more resolution from one axis than another axis, so you can do that to adjust the blending for X, and that keeps it to where it's actually running a lot faster. Like here I can move it like a lot faster than you would if you increased all axes at once. So options. And then here it's back to 32. Pull this out. I have it all listed here. See, 3 is 32. So we're on 3, we're on 32. So let's see if I covered everything. Like this for the Boolean, this one is the union distance. This one's chamfer distance, chamfer value, and this one's union and chamfer value. So, which is this one? This is union and chamfer. This is just union. Alright, and this is material, so you can select your material. I'm going to have better material options in version 3, especially with the glass one. I like the glass one a lot. So this is the background, which you don't really need to mess with. Threshold, you can mess with that if you want. And adapt, you know what adapt is. It's going to like decimate it. And basically that covers up the gist of it. This is documentation, so you can click here, go documentation, YouTube playlist. This is the Discord, and this is donate if you want to donate. I really can't wait to get version 3 done. I've been working really hard on it. I really want to make it to where it's way better and more user-friendly than this. This is getting there. It's usable, but I want to reduce the space so you don't have to like pull it out all the way, and I'm going to have it more vertical and more button-friendly and button-like so things work better. Let's go ahead and turn these. Make sure you have the right object selected. Have wireframe. I'll improve that system here. So, this is the cool thing about Dittos and Metaballs. It's basically like Metaball 2.0. So it has its own separate blending. So like you have infinite blend, you have EX blend to where you can adjust it, and then you can even smooth it, like the whole thing. And I'll improve this later by having pre-mirror on. But like go here, you go to negative, you go in, then actually negative on the metaball. So you can increase the res with the normal metaball settings, and basically however much you want to increase it by would be the quality of it. And you can increase the stiffness of this and the radius, then just make a hole basically. You can do this better with the meta curve. And of course it has the blend on, so you're not going to see much while the blend's on. Had to reduce it. So you have a hole, and if you don't want to use the blending, you can just start smoothing it. This is where you can increase it to where the blend is, but it doesn't work too well with holes. But it does work with geometry a lot. So if you wanted to just go in here and then just duplicate it based on the blending distance. And you can always like separate these into different layers. Metaballs are like simple to adjust, so like if you were to scale this, probably be easier to like scale in object mode. But if you go over, should be a scaling option. Yeah, scale. Well, for some reason it doesn't want to scale that way. If you have it as a separate object, see you scale Z, scale X, scale Y, which, as you can see, gives you different results, which is great to use. And also for the Ditto settings, let's go ahead and select, okay, get out edit mode. Select this, and you had different options. Of course, this has a lot more blending, so if you want a lot of blending, this is the best one to go for. However, if you want like more precise and precision, version 1 is the best to go for. You got different options. You have, this allows you to retain shape but also smooth. Increase the resolution will allow you to retain that resolution, so when you smooth, it's going to look really nice and crisp. Even if you go into Ditto layers, let's reduce this down to 0.4. Like this is what it would normally be. But as you increase this and smooth it out, Well, you don't want to increase it that much. Let's go to 0.2. That's another decent one. You can get really nice shapes. And if you turn this off, this is how it looks normally without it. This is what your normal settings for metaballs will look like, which is fine. It is what it is. It has nice blending already because it's like SDF, sign distance field. But then let's turn this back, go here, and then turn this back on. You have stuff like this with the Ditto. And this is before I got the pre-blend. This is like post-blend. So it's blending here, and it's cutting it because I have X bisect. You can even flip it to where it's going to flip to X. And you definitely want this. I'm going to add, like, this is something you can add directly after the layer. I just need to add another, like, another mode to where it just like smooths. So if you took this, let's say you linked it to Ditto layer 2, go here, select Ditto layer 2, and then you just do Ditto blend, turn the first layer off, increase the resolution, well, let's see, I might be able to use the previous geometry. Let's see. Well, I have an option to where you can use previous geometry. I have an option to where you can use previous geometry in the new one. So I'll fix that up. But right now, it's not so bad. I just need to get everything ready for like the next version. But to help get you up to speed for the Ditto layers, the quick add, the DL setup for all the modes and functions, and hard blend is still here in case you want to use it. So select here. That will select the previous geometry and overlap it with all the blending, which as you can see is a lot lower res than when Ditto has the smoothing and stuff going on, which you can make really smooth or just semi-smooth, and based on your resolution it will determine how like nice it looks. And you can just like change this up to however you want it, get nice objects. So this is what you have with Ditto version 2. It's really nice and really good setup. However, version 3 is going to be way better and have some extra tools to make even messing with metaballs like look like a dream come true. So thank you for being part of Ditto, and I hope you enjoyed Ditto version 2, and I hope you enjoy Ditto version 3 when it comes out. Have a great day, and if you need any help, just go to the documentations or comment in the YouTube video and I'll help you out. See you later. Bye.